Here are 5 things to remember about The Wheel of Time Season 1.
The search for the Dragon Reborn begins in the Two Rivers.
The dragon has been born again, and it's one of you. There's no time. We leave now.
The villagers are separated from one another on their journey.
Go! I'll find you.
A self-proclaimed Dragon Reborn is found, but proven to be false.
We captured a man calling himself the Dragon Reborn.
The group reunites at Tarvalon, and Moraine leads them to where the Dragon Reborn will be revealed.
Tomorrow I will take all of you to the Eye. But whichever of you is not the dragon will die there.
Ryan fulfills the prophecy as the Dragon Reborn and battles who we think is the Dark One at the Eye of the World, signaling a larger war to come.
This wasn't the last battle. I fear it was the first. Now you're all caught up. Watch The Wheel of Time Season 2 only on Prime Video.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel. I'm your host, the Innkeeper, and this is your live call-in talk show all about the Wheel of Time. And yes, we've got a recap of Season 1 from the cast. And in the last 24 hours, we've got quite a bit of new things for Season 2. So to discuss all of that with me, I have 2 wonderful guests. I have James from Couriers of Time and Kevin of Twitter of Time. I never know what to say for Kevin. I should
of
say
Kevin, I guess. Yeah.
Kevin of, I always want to say Trollocs something, but then I stop myself.
I mean, Kevin of Trolloc nipple fame. Is that not
infamy? I usually
like,
say infamy. Yeah.
So that was one thing we got from the actors. A pretty quick recap, but I think that was pretty cool for us, for them to show us that. It did say previously recorded. I thought that was an interesting thing they mentioned there, so that was nice.
Just in case. Exactly.
And I just wanted to highlight that, before we start, we have been supporting the WGA and SAG after strikes. I lost my image thing that I was going to put up for that, but that is something that we've been supporting and will continue to support as the strikes go on. So, they are continuing to negotiate, and hopefully we come to a conclusion that the unions are looking for. But a lot of things dropped, right, guys? So what else do you want to talk about? I'm going to put this up because a lot of us knew about this last night, but the Twitter of Chaos, they put this up, and we're like, yeah, we know, like this is nothing new. So that was kind of their look for the sneak preview that they released. Yeah. So what do you guys think about that? We had a sneak preview of Season 2 of The Wheel of Time. James?
What do I think about it? I think it's amazing.
Yeah. Were you expecting that?
I was not expecting it. I will say it was a quieter day for 1 month out. I expected a little bit more, and then towards the end of the day, it was very like, oh, okay, here's an entire cold open. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's appropriate.
Yeah. I mean, so this is, the preview of the Season 2 of The Wheel of Time. This kind of sneaked up on us at the end of Season 1, so Episode 8, after the wave thing happened. Mm-hmm. This shows up for, a good 4 minutes or so. But I think... they had Twitter Chaos had started liking eight tweets of different people. I actually went back. They had done that for me too, and I tried to go back today to find that, but it said a different number. So I was like, oh, this is just Twitter doing Twitter things now. But I saw people doing that, and I was like, wait, this is August. And there were some other numbers out there, and maybe they're trying to point towards a date, but this is what they were pointing towards, that go look at Episode 8. Kevin, do you remember the time when you found out this was happening?
I remember taking the screenshot because I was sending it to one of the many group chats I'm part of, mostly to be like, hey guys, I think they're setting up something for tomorrow because they're liking a lot of posts. Obviously, they're lurking around, they're seeing what everyone's up to. But in a lot of the posts, they didn't seem too out of the ordinary for for them to like of my posts. I'm a very obviously a very funny guy. I post a lot of funny stuff. They liked my they liked my picture of Rand inside the collector's box, and I was like, oh, of course, TSC's got a great sense of humor. But then I started seeing other people posting about it too, and they're like, it was 8, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, my screenshot said 8 as well. And then my good friend Loneliest Skyshine noticed it as well, and I was like, wait a minute, August, it's 8, of course.
Right.
And then I was promptly put in my place and told to watch episode 8 of season 1 before I got too ahead of myself.
Good. I see this in chat about spoiler level. Let's like what we've been doing for this is end of the Dragon Reborn. So for chat, and I think for the guests, I think that's probably a good place to that we can go up to. If there is something relevant that comes up as we dive into the sneak preview, we can give a warning. But I think let's stay to relative. I think there's one thing that I might want to mention because this is the Darkfriend Social, right? So there might be things you might want to talk about that's later on. So I think when we get to that specific part, I might throw in a full book spoilers. But for the most part, let's do end of book 3.
You got it.
But yeah, I think this. I think most of us saw this and then translated it from the video this morning. And James, you actually said this. You said the cold open, so that translates to basically 108 and 201. Do you think that's just basically telling us this is the first thing that you'll see in episode 1?
I assume so, and it makes sense that they would do that. Like, they wouldn't give us an episode 6 cold open this or like that. It just doesn't make any sense. Maybe episode 2, because they're probably going to air them. Or is that confirmed that they're airing them both?
I think don't know.
No confirmation.
Yeah, we don't.
I've assumed for a while it was going to be 3, but who knows?
Yeah,
who knows?
Yeah. I mean,
the wheel weaves as the wheel wills.
Right. I guess the question is, and I can let me end this poll that I have, or ended, or oh no, there is no poll. Oh, I guess the poll ended. Someone ended the poll, not me. We had asked how, what do we think about it? 84% said yay, and there's about 2% of people who said nay. But I think the poll is the preview.
It was just season preview of the Darkfriend Social, yeah.
Yeah. Is the preview the cold open of S2E1? So that's yes or no. You're saying yes. I think that the question is between that or what
part of a larger scene.
What you see after the although it's about 4 minutes, and the way it ends and pans, you would expect like opening credits to roll. And I know the pilot didn't have opening credits, but that's just for the pilot, right?
Right. That was just I assume that
that's a pilot thing.
2 would have it in episode 1.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm seeing some confirmations in chat about the IGN article saying that it was going to be the
yes,
first.
Exactly. Yeah, I was going to put that up. I don't have it open, but they alluded to how Robert Jordan used to have the first chapter of the next book at the end of, and I don't know where I don't know.
You elder millennials would know about this because I didn't know.
Like
I didn't
in
know
mass
about...
market paperbacks, they used to.
None of my,
none of mine have it either.
Not the mass market paperbacks. The paperbacks I had didn't have it, or the hardbacks that I have don't have it. But I guess I don't know why that they made it sound like Robert Jordan used to do this and like not other, because a lot of
no other author has ever.
No other author has ever done this.
I've seen other authors do that.
I mean, it's a ploy that Tor used probably, and not Robert Jordan, right? Because
I think it's an interesting cold open. I think it's a good way to allude to bigger things are happening, and there's lots of Easter eggs that we'll dive into. But it's kind of it's a pretty good cold open. I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, no, I think
It could be in the top 4 for me for the season, depending on how the other pan out, because it's really everything about it is really well done.
I mean, I assume the Moraine Suon one is going to be a cold open, but that's later.
Obviously.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I'll let this poll go for a little bit, and let's kind of dive in and start looking at this. I'll show it in pieces. I won't show it all through because they haven't actually released this. So let me pull it up. Where is it? There it is. Yep. Okay. Full screen. This should have subtitles. If there's issues with that, let me know, and enjoy. I think that's a good place to kind of stop.
Attention.
So you know, like I like how it starts a good drone kind of footage of that that house there that looks pretty cool, and then I mean, did you expect you were going to see a little girl playing? Because the last thing we saw was a little girl facing up to the big Shanshan wave. What do you guys think about that? Like in terms of choice?
I like that we got confirmation that it was a little girl, because that in the preview it was very, well, is it a little girl or is she just really tall?
Or is it a gremlin?
Yes.
So having that confirmation was very nice. It is a nice little parallel. Like if you just watch straight through, which I know many people will probably do, I hope people aren't like, is it the same girl? No, it's not the same girl.
No, it's not the same girl.
It's not.
Yeah. Well,
she's gone.
Like, okay. Although, what if like they'd shown like Ishmael like travel, grab that girl and like take her to the.
Okay, look. I mean, we already know he has great paternal instincts.
Yes.
I mean,
and we will see that. But yeah, it would have been an interesting kind of thing where it's like, hey, is this guy like good? Because that's one of the themes we might talk about. Because he, you know, that's one of the. I mean, as far as his acting and what he does in this, I'm really looking forward to that. And we've seen a lot of stills of him throughout, and they're kind of showcasing him as a kind of a major player. So
yeah.
But yeah, seeing a little girl, Kevin, did you think there would be any kind of I mean, the other from the trailer, the little girl with parent, did you think that could have been anything?
Oh, that's a good connection. I didn't think about her at all. I think that I was so taken by like the surroundings that I kind of just accepted the fact that there was just a little girl there without like even thinking twice about it. I was like, oh, I'm sure that this will make sense in a little bit, but I was just like so kind of overwhelmed with the surrounding forest. I was like, this isn't the Blight, you know, this is a building. I've never seen this kind of architecture in the show before this point. And then you get to the ground and you see like these like seal like gravestone things, which I'm sure we're going to dive deeply into. And I was just like so absorbed with the surroundings that the little girl was actually like the third or fourth thing that my brain was like, oh, why is she here? It wasn't until she ran inside, just like
skipping around playing.
Yeah.
You know, and then then we see the seals. So or what looked like seals. So we've seen at the Eye of the World what we thought was a seal that cracked. What did you guys, James? What do you think of? How many seals did you see?
I mean, I didn't count. I let other people do that are more capable of counting to 8.
Okay.
but I guess looking at it, it looks like 8. I
Okay.
thought it was really interesting. We just saw it at the end of the preview clip that we just saw, how one of them is on the ground, and that is someone's. I mean, we can just say it's Ishi's, right? Okay, it's
Right. Yeah.
Ishi's.
All right. So I'm gonna put
Yeah.
that poll in as you talk. I'm gonna say how many seals were there. I'm gonna do 5, 6, 7, and 8, and see what people say.
Yeah.
So yeah. So you're right. There's one on the ground, and you think that's
Yeah, that's
Ishmael?
definitely Ishmael's. When I first saw it, I didn't quite take in that it had fallen off of the pedestal there, so I thought she was like turning it to open something, like a hatch in the ground, and I'm like, girl, you're not that strong. Calm
Well,
down.
I mean, one of the things I had in my mind was like, oops, oh, I released a Forsaken by mistake.
It's like
that
breaking a vase in your grandmother's
Right.
home, except
Right. Exactly.
infinitely worse.
But yeah, that was like one of the things I was like, no, they're not gonna like be like, oops, I guess that happened. It's interesting they've linked the seals to the Forsaken being released and not the Dark One. So that's one of the things that,
Well, why not
He's
both?
gonna, I was gonna say he's gonna will actually you because I mean they do get periodically released as more seals are broken.
okay, right.
Yeah, I mean,
As
why
the-
not
as-
both? Like once the last Forsaken is released or something, maybe the Dark One's touch actually like infiltrates the world a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you think of metaphysics of actual book to, and again, let's not maybe talk about that too much, but it was interesting that I like the choice. I think it's the choice that they made, and I think it probably makes sense. But what do you think about the fact that that seal is not actually broken? It's just like not on its pedestal. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, can we get a shot? Is there a
Yeah,
shot of just the pedestal, like that last scene that we looked at?
Yes. So this.
Because I want to see if there's any like brokenness on the pedestal or something. Like I want to examine that a little bit.
Yeah. So let me. I think this is what you're looking for here. So yeah. So that's her. Initially, I was like, wait, is that a bow? No, that's just like the pedestal
or a manhole.
yeah. Yeah.
That's what I
but
thought.
yeah.
I thought it was a manhole cover, and I'm like, wow, okay. Ishmael's fortress really had plumbing. Cool.
I mean, Lanfear's underneath there because, like, you know how the Lanfear, that bloody person looks like the monster from the Ring, and how the monster from the Ring, isn't it? Don't they come out of a well? So that's like kind of the picture I had in my head. I was like, wait, is this what's gonna happen? But obviously that's not what happened. But yeah, what do you think of the pedestal itself? It looks fairly
intact. Yeah, it's just like it's clearly fallen over. I'm curious as to how it's supported. So maybe I'm not sure.
Oh, so I think you can tell from
some of the other shots. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Was there another one that was broken, and this one's on the like maybe this one's just on the ground? There's a broken one as well. So maybe the broken one is the one that's already been released, and this is the one that maybe he's working on.
Right,
I can't
but
remember.
I think this was the only one. So this is the other shot. Let me.
I admit I was a little bit distracted by other things in the background for a lot of this shot.
I was like, this is so yeah. So that's
okay. So
yeah, that's how they are kind of just held up by that other piece, and if you kind of remove that piece, the seal would fall over. So it kind of looks like it's just kind of fallen towards the house, and that it's on the ground there, and it doesn't look broken in any other.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're actually going for like this is maybe just like Ishmael's like chess pieces in a way. He's like, I've done one. Like these are not the actual seals, and this is just like him being like, okay, I've done one. I need to do a few more. So this is like
That's
not
fair.
the actual. This is just a representation of what the plan is.
This is him keeping score.
Or exactly, yeah, something like that.
He does
and
like that. He loves that.
Yeah, exactly. So this is because we do. Again, Darkfriend Social, he does show the 3 statues, right, of the 3 boys. So this is like kind of like that, but it's off the Forsaken maybe. So I'm just trying to find parallels of, okay, are these the actual seals or not? So I think that's probably a good poll question. Before I do that, this is a live call-in talk show. So call and let us know what you think about all these stills and seals. Do you think these are the actual seals, or how many seals are there? How many Forsaken are there? So it's 313 Talk One, 313-825-5968.
I did like that the seal had 8 stars and each of the motifs were a little bit different. So that was just the level of detail, like regardless of the meaning behind it, the level of detail that they put into it is phenomenal.
Right. So yeah, 42% of people say it's 8, about 25 to 26 for 6 and 7 each. I think given that we have those statues and those are 8, I think it's reasonable to say they're 8 seals, or 8 representations of
8 Forsaken.
8 Forsaken. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Are these the actual seals? Yes or no? Because if they are, like, just break them, right? Like,
Well,
what are
maybe
you
it's
waiting for? Like Gimli, right? Just like smash at it.
Oh my god. Yeah, they would absolutely Gimli this. I mean, maybe it's like Quendiar, where it doesn't fall over unless it's, I don't know. Who knows?
Properly weakened, yeah. I mean, the seals themselves were only focal points, and I think I've seen some talk about, there being like 8 points around Shale Ghoul that might be the physical locations, and these might be the equivalent of like the small discs, or something to that extent. Maybe they're like attuned to the discs, and those are also different. It's hard to say for sure, but I think that it's interesting enough that the number 8 is it seems like that's going to be the number to pay attention to with the Forsaken, at least for now. Maybe that's future misdirection, but I think that it definitely seems like it's relevant and it's intentional. We're supposed to make the connections that we're making right now.
And Zil makes an interesting point here, though. Like at the overhead shot, there are fewer than 8 that you actually see. But I'm like, maybe there's like one hidden, or like like it's not clearly
maybe
there,
the lighting's weird.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think I saw something else here. What do you guys think about this? Do you guys think they will tie each shield to a different Forsaken? Scotty's asking. Like, is it actually, because they all look the same for the most part, and you can kind of see on this one the back of it, the one on the right, and it seems like, at least to me, there's nothing there, right? It's just
so if we go back one shot to the overhead of the seal that's on the ground.
Okay, give me one
each
second.
of them has a different little motif on each of the 8 little inlets, I guess. Maybe they're each facing a different, like each one of those is facing up for the specific Forsaken.
Maybe that could
so
be
like
a
there is like
connection,
there's
an orientation
pointer or something that says
that
this is this one. Yeah.
I mean, assuming that the middle Aes Sedai symbol rotates.
Or if you look at the little bow and arrow thing, there's an arrow that points down. Maybe that whatever one was pointing down could be the one.
Yeah.
That could be it. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me pull up the one shot here and see if that and
nice one,
Kev,
Vintage. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Infinity. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So this right here.
Oh yeah. Okay.
There you go. It is pointing.
One is one of the motifs is pointing down, and it looks like the tier, like the white side, is different on the other one. So yeah, it is rotated.
Yep.
I mean, I must say, I threw up a still there, and Kevin spoke about the seals and not other stuff, so that happened.
You know what?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You know what I call that? That's growth.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think there might be things you could read into with the seals, and there. I'm gonna throw this up. Lauren, as Lauren does, shared this still on social media. Let me try to find it here. But yeah, I think this is the one. There. That there are like specific patterns to each of those.
Lauren, you are a treasure.
Right. I mean, and I'm like, wait, it took me like a little while to be like, yes, you're right. They're actually different. But like the one at maybe like 12 o'clock and 2 o'clock, I'm like, wait, they're not the same. I mean, this is the level of detail they went to with this stuff. It's
That's what I'm saying. It's great. Like, even if it's subtle and we don't necessarily understand it, they're 8. Well, I'm not going to say clearly different. They're 8 different symbols.
Yeah, no,
There was a lot of effort today to try to decode them. Qualis today, I think, came up with the most comprehensive guesses for each one, which each reposition it should be. But yeah, it was wild to see everyone picking up on it, and then like, oh, that one kind of looks like the Ilian bees from Tan's breastplate, kind of thing, or whatever.
Yeah. So let's go back. I do see a caller waiting. Let's see a little bit more and hear some of the initial kind of talk that happened, and then keep going. So let me see, where did we leave off? Yep, right about there. And cool. Let's see.
Not yet the dragon. Rand Althor. He released me at the eye of the world, and he thinks he can hide. He cannot.
We are to kill him?
Perhaps he can be turned to my use. Sooner or later it will be so. In this age or another.
All right, so
good cut.
Yeah, so
I was like, please wait until the mum part. Please wait.
Exactly.
Until the mum part.
I wanted to. And the reason, I mean, this is the level of detail that they went to. So, what do you guys think of that actual shot of our introduction to that table? I thought that was really cool. Like, how we go underneath the table, like, because there's like, we've seen the overhead. How can you actually see more? And they're like, why don't we go under the table and look around? And
yeah,
that, I think,
a good day for bring your daughter to work. Bring your daughter to work day.
Yeah, and I think the fact that this is where I thought that the child aspect choice works really well, because they're like, how do we get to show a little bit more without showing more? And they're like, well, let's do a POV of a child who's hiding under the table and looking around. And that, I think that from a choice standpoint, I thought works out pretty well. What stands out in that passage to you, Kevin?
I think for me, it was obviously you get the kind of voice lines, as it were, but I think what stood out to me the most is the fact that no one reacts. And if you remember from the scene in The Great Hunt, most of the people were blinded and silenced to whatever was going around them. So I don't think they can see or hear that the girl is there, except obviously towards the end, we see one person react who has maybe an advantage against the dark, but no one reacts because they don't see and they don't hear her, because they're kind of like this like veil has been placed over their eyes and ears to let them see what they are supposed to be seeing as a way. So
yeah. You mentioned, you brought up the actual speech and that. So this was really cool that they and James, do you mind being Ishmael? Do you mind doing your best Ishmael?
Oh my.
Or Kevin. I mean, maybe Kevin. I mean, either of you, whoever feels ready for this. Why don't you read this?
Okay.
You're just like, right, I don't know if I.
Okay, I'll do it. Okay. Here we go. I'm gonna do it as fair as fairs, because it's better that way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where is he now? The one who walks the world, one who was and will be, but is not yet the dragon, Rand Althor. He released me at the eye of the world, and he thinks he can hide. He cannot. That was really bad.
No, that was pretty good. That was
a little bit. I need to practice more. I'll be back next year.
So yeah, and going on, I can be the woman, and Kevin, do you want to be the second part here?
Sure, of course.
We are to kill him.
Perhaps he could be turned to my use. Sooner or later, it will be served in this age or another.
So good.
Do you like my James?
That was like, yeah.
He has a somewhat nasally voice. So I tried to really,
but
embrace
it's like,
that.
It's so and I'll read this next part because the reason I
Just gonna wait for
that,
chat to catch up.
is this, because this is from the Great Hunt, from the prologue in the shadow. Dead silence had fallen, silence that Balsamon let deep in before he spoke. There is now one who walks the world, one who was and will be, but is not yet, the dragon. A startled murmur ran through his listeners. The dragon reborn, we are to kill him, great lord? That was from the Shinaran, hand grasping eagerly at his side, where his sword would hang. Perhaps, Balsamon said simply, and perhaps not. Perhaps he can be turned to my use. Sooner or later, it will be so in this age or another. So, I mean, this, like, how good was this, right? The fact that it
was great.
Like, actually use pretty much, word to word for that first part. When I first heard it, I was like, this is weird, but I'm like, no, this is Ishmael. He loves to do this, and
he's so theatrical.
Yes, exactly, and and then he does like, and we'll see it in a little bit, but the fact that we see this side where he's talking to the group and then he talks to the girl, and it's like kind of a different cadence or anything. I was kind of joking. It's not a bow. It's
we know,
yeah,
we know.
Yeah, no. It was more like I was like, oh, is this Brigitte? Like I just wanted to
this Brigitte's bow.
I'm just loving chat being so mad at me for my.
No, you forever have to. Like anytime we get any Ishmael, like let's say for the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks, if you get more Ishmael speech, you have to like put it out like that now. I mean, you just have to. But yeah, so in terms of this is the Darkfriend Social. Like there is no question about it. This is from the books and how they're showing it. Although in the books they said it was it was a different character's point of view, and the Shinaran said that one part, and not in this case what seems like when they're showing that one pretty interesting looking ring, right? What do you guys think about this ring?
Ooh, the ring.
Oh, it's pretty dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's definitely a Black Aja ring. I don't think we can talk. I don't think it's anything to do with the lighting. It's a Black Aja
ring. And the sequins are a stylish choice, and those gloves, like that's totally to obscure the nationality skin color, so we can't like identify perfectly who that is either. It's very well done.
Yeah, no, I think it's not subtle. Again, it's not subtle for us. For other for non-readers, it's like, wait, there is, and I like Hyper Havoc has put, I'm surprised there even is a Black Aja ring.
She leaves
Ishmael,
it
like, and
she has accessories there for people to pick up.
Yeah.
There's an entire dressing room
sequence. I love. Yes, I mean yes. Yeah. That is the next question, and to talk about this part, and I think I'm gonna put this.
Yeah, this one's got to be full spoilers.
So we're about half an hour in. I think we can now switch to full book spoilers, because I think this is the one part that we can maybe theorize a little bit about, but that who is this? So let's give a minute before we talk about that, and let's see if we still have.
Can you put Bree's comment just up there about the gloves being so big? She has.
Okay, those gloves. You have to have your Gracer ring. Yes, Bree. It's hey,
ready for any occasion.
The thing that I like the most is like there's so much like subterfuge, and let's not show our faces, and we'll see in a little bit that someone in that room doesn't care about that at all.
No.
Yep.
Someone in that room said, "Hi, why weren't there name tags?"
Yeah. So yeah, and the mods are happy. Yes, we're full book spoilers now. So yeah, what do you think? Whose hand is that? who would wear sequins, I guess is the question. James, what do you think?
Sorry.
Maybe
people can see you.
Is that Travis?
Kevin, maybe go to you. I like this because this is a choice. Did you either of you guys think it's Masana? Because Sherbet Mango is like that's actually one of the Forsaken, who's an Aes Sedai, and it's there. What do you think?
I don't think she'd be taking too kindly to sitting while Ishmael's standing. I think that the chosen Forsaken, they like to battle for top dog too much for one to sit and take instructions from another. So it's a good it's a good theory for sure, but
yeah,
I feel like it would change the dynamic a bit too much. I mean, it's possible, but
right.
I mean, I think it's Varen, but that's just me. I don't think it's Liandrin. I feel like Liandrin is probably somewhere else here, but I think Varen would be smart enough to like completely obscure. Like, I don't think Varen would wear sequins in real life. We don't know her though.
Yeah. I mean, if anyone, yeah, I mean, that's interesting, right? I like this theory by Sky Squirrel. There are no Aja rings with black stones. The sister wearing it made it look with a weave, maybe an inverted weave. I think that's a really good point there. That I think the other thing we have to consider here is which Black Aja sister would make it to that table. Like, who is high enough? Because this is a select. This, I would imagine, not everyone gets a seat at this table.
Right.
And which one of those, and we don't really know maybe too much in terms of hierarchy between those, but who would, so I saw Varen mentioned, obviously Liandrin, Masana.
I think
the one I wanted to put out is the other one, and I just saw this in chat by Blender of Sheriam, right? Sheriam.
That was who I was
thinking
thinking as well, yeah.
And the voice, I don't know if it sounds like, what's her name, Rema?
I mean, we don't know if that's the same person talking.
That's true, yeah.
Say that again?
We don't know if that's the same person talking.
That is true, but let's go by the
okay.
Let's say if we go by that, who would it sound like in your head? I mean, it doesn't sound, I think, like I see Alviarin being thrown in there. Yes, Sulin, I saw that.
Alviarin is not going to make it on the show.
And we do, yes, I guess what they're trying to tell me is we know who's like the highest in terms of hierarchy.
Yeah.
Yes, we know. Yes, it is Alviarin. So
I think Sheriam or Liandrin thematically would be the best choice if there's going to be a reveal this season.
Yeah.
Or if there's a reveal for the readers. I assume that the show, like that characters in the show are not going to know, but like because of this, we know Suroth is a dark friend pretty much straight away, which we'll get to in a second. But I think this leads to a little bit of, guessing for the season.
Yeah, I think the point you're trying to make is like, we know what they're trying to say is there are dark friends who are Aes Sedai. So be aware of everyone, right? So this could be Moraine, right? Like like for the purpose of I know, right? For the purpose of non-readers, they could like that's what they want them to think is like this could be anyone, right? And I think that goes. Let me bring in our caller and ask them who they think this is, and put up a poll about this. So let's see who's this. Hey, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
This is Sky Squirrel.
Hi, Sky Squirrel. Thank you for calling, and thank you for that awesome that theory you put in there. So, who do you think is that person with the black ring or the inverted weave on the red ring, maybe?
Yeah, I like the idea that it's Liandrin from a show perspective. Liandrin is one of the sisters that we've seen. And if this scene comes early on in the season, like, I don't think that they would show somebody that they haven't introduced to us otherwise. Ish. One of those I think is a Shanaran. I think Ingtar's at that table. it would make sense from a show perspective to not introduce a new character as a hooded cloaked figure. That's just kind of how I feel about it.
Okay. So Leandrin.
But
Okay.
one way or another, there's a random tinker there. There's at least one white cloak there. There's at least one soldier there. Like, I think their actual identities, yes, we'd like to nitpick these things, but I think their actual identities aren't as important as the imagery that these dark friends are from all walks of life, all nations. There's representation there. So I don't think it matters who the exact.
All right. No, I like that. That's so the poll I just put in. I ended the previous poll. Are these the actual seals? 77% of people actually say no, and I actually didn't really think of it until I kind of thought of it now during the show. So I asked who's the Aes Sedai with the Blackstone ring, Leandrin, Varen, Sheriam, and the last one we will never find out. Like, it doesn't matter, in terms of. And someone said, I have to go back and see, I missed the comment. They said, we never actually find out who it is in the books. So
True. Yeah.
I think that's true. I'd have to go back and look at the interview database. Maybe someone out there can do that. That Robert Jordan had maybe answered this, or
I'll do some Googs.
So if someone can do that to tell us that. But you're right. I agree, Sky Swirl, that it really doesn't matter. I think it is a good way right from the start to be like, the Aes Sedai can have dark friends.
Yeah, I think there's dark friends
I
everywhere.
I do want to say one thing. The reason I called it in the first place, the girl dives under the table. There is some kind of mechanism underneath that table. It's like a cogwheel or something. I want to know what that table does. Is it simply like
I don't know this. Okay.
Yeah, there is something under the
table.
Okay,
all right, cool. I did not. Oh, okay. I can pull that up.
I didn't notice that.
Let me pull that up. So, what do you think this table does?
So I think that it's a mechanism to expand or contract the table. Willow's here with me. She thinks that the centerpiece of the table pops up, or there's some kind of spring action mechanism there.
Okay. All right. So that's interesting. I didn't notice I was looking at all the people underneath and not the actual table itself, but I guess that is. James, do you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, it's either a really fancy table or it does something, but I don't think we're going to find out anything.
Yeah. So and if you I'm just going to show I showed the underneath part, and this is the from the overhead shot, and there is that one kind of central piece that looks like a pedestal of sorts that could be but if you actually look at the numbers on the number of kind of arrows there,
12, yeah.
12, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So which is, again, it would have been nice if it was like some other number, not 12. But yeah, I didn't look at the table. That's a good thing. I mean, I'll once we're done with this poll, I'll poll that does this table have another purpose than just being a table, a round table to sit around for a social event.
I mean, there's 13 people, but there are 12 spokes.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Sky's Roll, calling in. Was there anything else that you had in mind about the fact that, what did you think of the fact that we got something like this 1 month out?
I think it's sneaky that they tacked it on to episode 8 rather than release it separately. We did get the prologue, I believe, of The Great Hunt in the Eye of the World. And that's a common thing with books, right? Like, you get a sneak preview of the next book at the end of the first one. So I think that was kind of cool and nerdy and kind of a nice way to do it.
I think so too, and I think the way they interacted last night with the fandom was really good. I think not to be pragmatic here, but I think this is only on the Prime website, so you need to have a subscription to go see it. So this was a way for them to be like, hey, if you want to see this, go to subscribe so you can see this. I think that might be one of the things that they may be going for. But yeah, I do like that it was, at the end of episode 8, and like you had to go like find it, and they didn't really put it out there until the IGN article came out.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting the way it was released. Interacting with the fandom is always good, always builds up, goodwill. So
yeah. I kind of want to know who looked in the first place to kind of figure that out. Thanks for calling in. We'll see you back in chat, and I'm gonna put that table theory to the chat in a little bit.
Oh, I like Brian's.
Awesome.
All right,
Sorry.
take care. Bye.
I like Brian's thought about how it just makes the table bigger
for
when they need to have smaller meetings.
Right. Yeah, that's the go-to kind of theory, is that it just is a mechanism to be like, okay, let's have a Ishmael and Surath have a cup of coffee together, and there's just two people, and it's a terangrial table that you spin it, and that's what happens. Yeah.
Speaking of Surath, I really like that they just outright said, hey, when you see these nails again, no, it's a bad person.
Yeah, let me so let's look at a couple of these shots of people. You put Surath, where is that one? Yeah. Well, let's start with maybe this one, because I have it right up. We've seen this this kind of emblem before, and it's a Shinaran. Is it falcon?
It's a hawk. Same thing as
hawk. Yeah, of course. It's the hawk.
Same thing as Mayan, which is I got egg on my face last night for that one.
Algolmar has the hawk on his back, right? So they're clearly showing, hey, you've seen this before. Pay attention to when you see it again, because I'm sure there's going to be a slight kind of scene where they the Shinarans are on the hunt, and they'll be like, look at this, remember you saw this at the start of the one of the episodes. So I think I don't think it's a question, right? Unless they want to really change this is Ingtar, and not any of the other Shinarans. Yeah.
I don't see a reason.
Yeah. Okay, good. So anyone else under that table, the table that you wanted to kind of maybe talk about and theorize about? Is there anyone else that you think could be there? I mean, I'll show the Surath one, which is
the only one I really liked was the Tinker, just because I'm not saying that they should do this. I am, however, saying that this would be a great way to highlight Maria Doyle Kennedy's acting.
That'd be interesting. That would be interesting.
And to give her a more prominent role. But if Ela turns out to be a dark friend,
I would be
fine with that.
Just to see more of Maria Doyle Kennedy. I like that. So
I love the legs.
Mom, right?
The leg, yeah.
That's the person she went to. The person on the right, what do you guys think about? What do you think of that? Is that like a well-turned calf? Is that someone from a circus with a well-turned calf?
See,
I don't know.
That's what I thought it was. I thought it was circus, but now it's looking to me like just High Lord of somewhere.
I was gonna say there's a couple options from the original ones in The Great Hunt, and from in this Theoryland interview with Robert Jordan at Comic-Con in 2005, it says that there are intentionally some clues to determine some of them, but others are intentionally generic.
Right.
So the one that those pants kind of reminded me of is either the High Lord of Tyr that's there, which could be Wyramon, or there's also a Andorran Queen's Guard person, which is possibly David Hanlon.
Okay.
So those are two theories for who those identities are, but they've never been confirmed.
Right.
But them being one of those two, either the Andorran guard because it's red, obviously red Andor,
Right.
or it's pretty ornate, so it could be a tier noble as well.
Right. I mean, the one other is we're going to Karyan, right? So could this be? Can we see this again later? And with Lord Barthanes. Let me see. I saw something in chat.
Oh, Barthanes! I didn't think about him actually.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's the other person we're going to. They were casted. So
that was a pretty thick calf.
It was pretty meaty. Yeah,
I mean, look at that. It is fairly well turned, isn't it? I mean, that turn.
Yeah, that's
okay. All right. Okay, so we haven't done this. Let's
enhance this.
I think it's fairly enhanced. I think we need to zoom now. This is what we need.
To do. Oh yeah, let's do this.
Okay, let's.
Yeah, that's the ticket.
I mean, yes, right.
Yeah, that's a meaty calf.
Yeah.
As someone with meaty calves, that's a meaty calf.
Yeah. So, for the deep analysis of different kinds of calves, this is the content you came here for. This is interesting. I do like this because I kind of felt this way too. Those stripes, they seems very tier.
We do have the impressions of like the different like we have those art books of the the style guides for each culture.
Yes.
So I wonder if we could maybe match that up. Actually, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I tried to, and then I was like, that's that needed a little bit more kind of time than I had in the last 24 hours. So I was like,
leave that to the road to Tarvalin ladies.
Exactly. And I think they put something out either today or I don't know if it looks at that, but
earlier today. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So so good. All right. Okay. I know we'll go back and finish watching till the end in a little bit, but let's do that now. Let's do that before I show you this one that I have for Kevin, and so yeah, let's finish watching, and all right.
Excuse me. We're in the middle of a meeting. A quite important one, really. Oh, let me guess. There's something outside. A monster, perhaps. Come on. A lot of people call me Monster too, you know. Along with a litany of other unflattering names. Father of lies, betrayer of hope, forsaken. Do you know why they call me and the other chosen such hideous things?
No.
Because if they called me what I really am, no one would be afraid. After all, how do you prove you're not a monster? How do you prove that the things you do are good or evil? Right or wrong? Look at this creature. Part man, part animal.
You can come in.
It's so hard to be.
We're watching the clip, so be quick.
What if he isn't evil? What if he isn't wrong? What if he's just hungry? Look at me. Do I look like a monster to you?
No.
I knew I liked you. You see, it's all right. Come on, you try.
All right. I don't know why I didn't like notice that giggle at the end until this time.
I loved it.
It was so good. So I mean, there's a lot to look into that, but I mean, what do you guys think of, what this demeanor that Ishmael has? The way he said forsaken. Like it was just so cool. Like this, we were getting a very different Balsamon Ishmael than we know from the start of the books, right? But
yeah.
What do you guys think?
I think that's the thing. I think we aren't getting Balsamon,
right?
Which I like, because it makes a little bit of sense in the books, but in the show it makes more sense for there to be like continuity between the characters, and for it to just be Ishmael. And I don't think does that mean we're not going to get Moradin? Who knows? But we'll find out.
That doesn't. Yeah, I want to put this up before we continue to talk about Ishmael. Just when Jen is saying this child actor is divine, she's really giving a beautiful. I mean, yes, maybe says 3 or 4 words, but like the facial acting was so on point. And yeah, so yes, thank you for pointing that out. But the Ishmael kind of you're right. I think we're getting a different kind of character, and I think it's pretty good for a protagonist or antagonist. That's funny.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, see. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let me put this out. This is one of the kind of first episodes I did here at the Dusty Wheel. We did a deep dive. We can go back and watch of Ishmael, and talked about him, and so I wanted to put that out there. But yeah, I mean, Ishmael is an interesting character, and we're getting a different kind of mix of him now, and I think that's pretty cool that we're getting that. Kevin, any thoughts about the fact that he was like, I'm a chosen, not the Dark One or Balsamon.
I think that it's a good homage to the way he kind of spits those words at at Rand and other people whenever he kind of talks to them, like these people, they just kind of they talk to me with the respect that I'm not, that I haven't earned or whatever, and they should be calling me as I am, and whether it's nameless or chosen, they're very much like call me by my approved title of the Dark One. Don't sully my name with.
Are you saying he is saying call me Ishmael?
Wow. Yeah.
Maybe.
So
okay, that was a Moby Dick reference. I just want to.
I got it.
I wanted to put this next poll in. So I said, so 42% of people think it's Leandrin who's with the Blackstone ring. 30% people say we'll never find out. 15% Varen, and about 11 of the people out there.
Prepare to be wrong, everybody. It's Shiriam. Too bad. Sorry.
Yeah. It'd be nice if it's Shiriam. So this next one, I'm going to ask both of you. Is Ishmael a monster? Because he asks that. So I put that poll out there. Yes or no?
It's too subjective. It's too subjective.
From whose point of view? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, a monster? No. He's not a Trolloc. Right. Trollocs are monsters.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I don't think he's a monster. I think he is a amazing antagonist.
Yes. Yeah. Kevin, you have any thoughts? Because he's like, has the literal monster in front of the child, and it's like, do you think I'm a monster? And I think what he's actually like, I think what what they're trying to be like, exactly, that's not the monster. That's the monster. The actual monster is Ishmael. I think that's
what they're saying.
Yeah. And what they're going for is like, don't be afraid of the monster. The actual monster is one who actually
is the one that's touching the monster. Yeah, it's the one that can approach it. Yeah,
and the one that's vaguely threatening to feed the little girl to the monster.
Right.
I gotta say that was like a stroke of genius on her part to say no, because that was probably the deciding factor of her being lunch or going to the petting zoo, honestly. So that was probably what cleansed you, because he was like, oh, I knew I liked you.
Okay.
I'm
gonna poll that. How many in the chat were worried about seeing a Trolloc cook pot, or something like that? Because for a second there was. I felt, and I saw this in the chat a little bit ago. I missed it, but they're saying someone was saying they're their partner was watching, and they were like scared. You know, there's a scary
yeah.
element to
It's
this,
tense.
that what is actually going to happen. And I like this, that the monster is scared of him, right? and Jen is like, who is to say she still didn't become lunch?
I
mean,
but that would be
hopefully not, right?
mean.
Yeah,
That would be mean.
right. Yeah. And there's a lot of interesting Ishmael insight. So delusion is saying, is he just passionate about autonomy, hardly monstrous?
Well, it's from a chosen. That's where we're hearing that from.
Yeah,
so choose your
yes.
choose your quotes wisely.
Yes, exactly. Hey, I am, like I said, I'm a fan of Ishmael. Oh, this is bad. Sarah is like, what if you see a Trolloc cookpot later with a brightly colored skirt hanging over the edge? Wow.
I'm just saying that, like, she is not a big meal for the Trolloc. She's a snack. Get the High Lord with the very well turned calf.
All right. Okay. All right. Yes, there are better choices, and this is interesting. Because they Balsamon in the book talks about where this is, that it's in the shadows of Shale Ghoul or something like that. This does not seem like that when you look at it. And Andrew's like, the show's version of the town, and I don't think that's what they're going for. I think this is not in the Blight or near the Blight, because
No, it didn't. Didn't look like it to me. It looked just like some castle, Ishmael's fortress, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
There was a very good theory on Twitter earlier about someone thinking that it was the the house of or a manor of a very prominent, like maybe the White Cloak in Amadisia, because of the motif of the star.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. I
yeah.
think that has a lot of solid grounding. Maybe they just
Yeah,
choose a
I like
different
that.
place to meet up every time.
All right.
Like,
Kevin,
who's
so-
hosting? Who's bringing snacks?
Exactly. Like, no, it's more like, it was at my place last time. Who's? It's
We
your
had it at
turn
my
now.
place last time.
Ramon.
I don't want to clean. Ugh.
Yeah. So, Kevin, what do you think? Hair or hood?
I think that Trolloc is clearly wearing a hood that has its horns protruding from the sides. You know, it's got special cutouts, and you can tell by the shadows and the way that you can see the individual threads pushed back. And I think that I think this is pretty clear to anyone who's got eyes,
Right.
and a good sensibility that Trolloc's wearing a hood.
But I think the facial expressions of the Trolloc, and I think Kevin, I think I saw you point this out maybe on Twitter or somewhere, that they always talk about the two human eyes, and it looks so it's so well portrayed in this scene. And
They are half human. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that they are actually making a bigger deal of that, because in season 1 they just look like some kind of monstrous orc or something.
Yep.
Right. Exactly. There's no
but actually
smart-
saying half man, half beast, or whatever Ishmael said, that's really cool.
Okay. So I think they look great. I think the fact that they showed Trollocs after, people who watched episode 8, and they're like, no, these are the actual what they're actually supposed to look like. I'm glad that they had that kind of
set the record
prosthetic.
straight once and for all.
Exactly.
This is what you should expect. This is the standard.
Exactly.
Episode 8 was the exception.
Right. Exactly. That we know there were extenuating circumstances for that. But I think let me end this last. Well, I do see another caller here, so we'll bring them in shortly. Is the Ishmael and Monster? About, I think 160 of you voted, and 71% of people say yes. And I'm not surprised to see that. I think the next one is this Trolloc. What is... I'm going to say this right.
Hot or not? That's what.
No.
What
I'm going for is the Trolloc evil, hungry, or what was the other thing? Wrong, evil, or hungry. Those are the three choices, right? So, what is the question there? Those are the answers.
What motivates the
yes.
Motivates the Trolloc, I guess, yeah.
I mean, food.
Food, hunger,
What
or
motivates
being
this
misunderstood.
Trolloc?
Food, hunger, or understanding. I will say, someone in chat said that the Trolloc looked like it feared Ishmael, and I think it did a bit, but when Ishmael touched it, he looked the calmest I have ever seen a Trolloc look. Like, once he received, like, you know, as we all do when we receive daddy's validation, not that I would know what that's like, but
yeah. But I mean, I think, you know, you're right. There was a like, wait, people are calling this a dusty pull. Is it just because it's
the phrasing is a little weird, but
really?
I get what you're going for.
Okay, all right. No, you know what? I'm not gonna change it. I think.
No, what motivates this Trolloc? Wrong. What motivates me? Wrong.
Wrong.
Right. Hey, you know what I was asking? I asked for help.
We know.
Blame Kevin for the question.
I always blame Kevin.
Please do.
But I think, you know, the fact that they showed the Trollocs there, and the fact that, hey, these are the Forsaken, the Chosen. These are the actual monsters, and they're in control here. And I think that was probably the part that you see there, that let's pet the monster, and that's fine. I did see this theory out there. I'm forgetting who put this there, that they actually had the Tuatha'an child who believes in pacifism, or every not can believe maybe that the monster is okay, is good, and just wants to eat. So the fact that they used that was an interesting kind of thing. Why would a child believe that this monster is okay? This
Way of the leaf, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
Right.
that, and compulsion. I don't think so. I don't think we ever saw Ishmael use compulsion. I mean, if someone can correct me, but I've never thought of Ishmael being the type who he would use it. He would do whatever he want, but I don't think he
when he has that much charisma.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's just like,
he doesn't need it. Yeah,
he doesn't need it. Yeah. His touch is enough. He doesn't need to channel. Yeah. So any other? I think that was most of kind of my kind of other part. I think the cold open serves the purpose of showing us Aes Sedai can be dark friends. That this antagonist isn't dead, is indeed petting a Trolloc. So this is like much worse than what you've seen in the first season, and that there are people who are scheming behind the throughout the season, and these are the people you need to look out for. The Seanchan, the White Cloak, and then Patton Fane obviously is, we know for sure. I mean, we knew at the end, yeah.
I will say that was a choice. The Patton Fane just revealing his hood and being wackadoo for everyone to see.
That was going to be my comment. It was actually Patton Fane. To bring it back to, it shows that he has something different. Oh.
I think that would have been a better choice, is what I'm saying.
That would have been a smart choice, yeah. I think it shows that there's something special about him that's different than other dark friends. That he has this ability to be a different kind of evil that does set him apart from other just regular old dark friends, and he can just kind of do like a and just kind of be a creep, but
So we had this caller waiting for a little while. Let's bring them in and ask them about what they think about that choice of Patton Fane. Hey, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
Hey, what's up, boys? This is Jeremy.
Hey, Jeremy. Thanks for calling again.
Jeremy.
We got
gang?
an extended, more than I thought we would get of season 2, and we've been looking at it.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? I think they could have just gone with the whistle. They didn't have to actually show. I mean, that beautiful smile, but they did show it, right? So what do you think about that choice?
Dude, absolutely. Like it's funny because like all the things that I called, I was like, I hope they ask me about this. You all touched on in the last like 2 minutes, and I was like, man, I got nothing to say now. But
that's what happens.
But
that's what happens.
On Pat and Fane particularly, that's dude. I think it's super telling that he's the only one willing to like lift his hood, and I don't think he's looking. He's looking at the girl, not because like obviously Ishii knows who he is. He knows why he's there. So it's something to do with the girl, which is like. I mean, I don't know what do y'all make of that, because it has to do with the girl, because Ishii knows who he is and why he's there, right?
Yeah, I wonder, and hear your thought, James, on this. No one like looked at him. Like everyone like sitting just keeps looking straight. So do you think it's because? Yeah, what do you think?
I mentioned it earlier, and I didn't think about it. How everyone is forced to look straight ahead and can't hear anything else. It's like the room is on pause while, Ishmael performs daycare. And it's very interesting to me.
He's just totally okay to go, woo!
Well, and Fane is, I don't know. Are they going to show that Fane is going to become something else? I don't know. I'm curious to see how it goes, because he's definitely different than everyone else at that table.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I do like the fact that they wanted to point out that, hey, look out for Fane. Like, Fane's going to be important again. He really wasn't that much there in the first season, but I think they're trying to point out that he is going to be there. Let me ask you, Kevin. Do you think,
or that he's always there, just not there?
Right, exactly. Yeah, the whistle. Like, we've heard the whistle so many times.
Well, because we knew. Oh, sorry. We knew that like he was. We know that Fane is a dark friend. This is simply saying Fane is a dark friend and he's something else.
Right. Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Do you think he has the dagger?
Do y'all think
Kevin?
that maybe?
Sorry, what was the question?
I was asking, do you think he has the dagger with him right now?
Oh, that's a good question. I have to say yes, because I think that there's going to be a sequence where that somehow gets back to Tar Valon for Matt's healing somehow. But I think that maybe that is how he has the power to break out of whatever is holding everyone else's. He has his source, as it is, of his alternative evil.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking, what do you think about this, Jeremy? That he hands off the dagger to Liandrin here. That's what happens.
Ooh.
I mean, I also kind of wonder if maybe like him having the dagger, like maybe, I mean, I doubt this, but maybe him having the dagger, like him lifting his hood and everything. Maybe does Ishii not even know that? Like, is the dagger, like, is he that outside of, that side of the dark already?
Right. Is he already almost out of Ishmael's control in a way?
I believe that.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Like he was invited there because Ishii knows who he is, but he's like already just like, I'm kind of in between that and that.
This is interesting. The Noman Garden said, can't see him ever letting the dagger go. Yes, you're right. Unless Ishmael makes that happen.
If there's a portion of the power that he won't get until that power is sucked from Matt into the dagger, and then it's maximum power.
Right.
That's like the only reason I could see. I don't know. I'm pretty rising, James. I'm just thinking.
What is the future of the
maximum
dagger?
Power dagger,
and Shatter logo.
To
because
unlock
it has
the full potential of the dagger, we must get Matt away from it. He holds a portion of it still.
We need the Matt remnant of the dagger, or
maybe.
It's interesting. There can go so many. Are we going back to Shatter Logos? Are we going back to the dagger and what happens in Crown of Swords? Like all of those things, right? It's so far away right now, but I think it makes. They don't really have to think about it right now, but I think it would be interesting because we do see the dagger in the trailer. Jeremy, what else? Was there anything else that you wanted to mention?
Yeah, I was moving around my place, and so I don't remember which one of you brought it up, but I heard it as I was moving around that potentially is it Isla or Illa, the thinker who crushed it in that scene, or episode or couple, whatever, in the first season, that she might potentially be the dark friend at the Darkfriend Social, and that dude, this is a Hail Mary this is a Hail Mary hot take that I don't think this is going to happen, but if it did, I think it would just be brutal.
Yeah.
What if that little girl was Isla's daughter, who got killed, in the story she told to Perrin, and because we're all spoilers. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We know that they, we know that they can bring someone back. So what if, is she like finagle way into bringing her back into like turning like the strongest tanker basically to like, you know what, maybe this isn't the way. Because that would be devastating, and not only just to like the character and for the story, but also to us, because like she was she crushed her scene so much and affected parents so much that if like she comes back later on in the show and is like now on the other side, think about not only what that would do to the narrative, but think about what that would do to Perrin, and think that. So I know that's like I said, it's a Hail Mary.
No, it's definitely there.
Think it's gonna happen, but
yeah. I can put that in. I'm gonna put that as a poll in a second, because Sendaria in the garden is saying no way Ella is a dark friend. So I think that is.
To be fair, I also don't think it's going to be Isla as a dark friend. I just want to see more of Maria Doyle Kennedy, and this would be a great way to do that.
Okay, yeah.
I do not think it's Isla.
She was incredible. Yeah.
Yes,
she was really great.
Honestly, dude, she was so good. Even if she had to be evil, I'd be like, all right.
We love an evil woman.
I like that you brought it up again, because I think we can pull it. Jeremy, thanks again for calling in. We have a little bit more, maybe some final stills from our guest to maybe show, and then we'll wrap up and do a giveaway. But yeah, thanks for calling in, and we'll see you back in chat.
Always love talking to you guys. Thanks, man.
All right, take care.
Peace, boys.
So I thought, showing this, we went past this, but right, Kevin?
Oh yeah, we did. I laughed. I laugh every time I see it, because it actually makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like Miss Sarah James saying it could be Aram in a dress.
Oh,
yeah.
Aram.
You know what? Yes, goodness. I would be down with that too.
I'm fine with that too.
Yeah, no,
I love look at those thighs. Oh, cool. Look at that.
Yeah,
that's a well-turned satyr calf.
I was gonna say, I'm like, where's the calf on that? Because that's a well-turned thigh.
Yeah. So was there anything that we missed? Anything you guys wanted to maybe show from this? As I put in start our raffle for a Dusty Wheel mug.
Mr. Tumnus Butt, hell yeah.
It's
I think my biggest surprise from the trailer was just outright showing that Suroth is a dark friend. Because I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was going to be more of like oh, by the way, she is, but there's no way it's anybody else.
Right.
So we know. I assumed that Ishmael was going to be influencing Suroth, because from the trailer we saw that Ishmael's with them. But I didn't think that Suroth would just be shown as evil straight away.
And I think we talked about a little bit on Twitter on the split where we said that the voice could be like the speaking voice could be Sarath, and I think that this could be a good choice because not only does her manner of speak sound a little bit more American in a way, like it doesn't sound as fantasy British as a lot of the accents do, but she's not going to be speaking a lot because she has a voice, and so
Ooh.
that's like a clever way to hide who actually says those words. So
Ooh,
I think that that's a
smart.
clever, that's a potential way, and it could be another blood. Maybe we'll see other blood, but it could be a
Yeah.
misdirect. But I like that it could be her being the one speaking.
Yeah, I mean,
That's her one line in season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting what they do with that character, right? It has been highlighted, quite a bit, and that it's an important character, and we've seen a couple of stills, standing and walking where Ishmael's on, this right next to her, and there was like the costume, they've highlighted her as a main character, but yeah, maybe it is her. We will find out, I guess. The raffle has started, so yeah, put exclamation point raffle in the chat, and I do see people, your entries coming in here. Yeah, but any other kind of shots there that you wanted to me to share? I have one that I wanted to, because it was one I shared on Twitter too. James, was there anything that you think we missed, or I think that just the fact that Surath one, that's the kind of one that stood out.
Yeah,
to you.
that was it's still my big surprise. But yeah.
Kevin, do you have anything else?
If you want to show them, Ishi and the little girl smiling with the Trolloc, just like a big family one more time. I think that I think that's a really sweet moment.
Yeah. Let me find that while I show this. This was my kind of favorite thing. That
oh yeah.
That I mean that is good acting is what it is. He's like, yep, you said the right answer. I'm not a monster. I like it. I knew I liked you. I think those were his words, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the last part, let me pull that up, hopefully here. Yeah, and smiling up, there it is. Yep, there you go.
There it is.
Yeah,
a big happy family.
Smiling, you think? Yeah. Oh, it's her new pet. What do you want to name? New pet?
So Ishi is me. Ishi is me. The little girl is all of Twitter. Growing to appreciate Trollocs over the last year of me relentlessly showing them Trollocs. So yeah,
the live meme making by Kevin. This is how it happens, everyone. This is the magic. This is magic happening.
It's always on.
Yeah, it's always on, right? But yeah, I think that is a really great shot. It's like, how long did it take for the girl to turn? Not long. It's like, okay, this is fine. This is okay.
It took me months.
Yeah. Let's give another couple minutes.
You're just not as charismatic as Ishmael.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Twitter doesn't really carry charisma as well. They can't hear me do my very good Ishmael impression.
Let me see.
I liked you, Twitter of time. You're a good one. I liked you.
That's perfect. So yeah, one other thing I wanted to show. In the next, we didn't do this today just with circumstances. We're still looking. What Wednesday drops for season 2 are going to happen. So we'll continue to try to do in a noon Eastern show as well as our Wednesday night show. But in the next week, 2 weeks, I'm not sure how this will work out. We will be doing this season 2 episodes breakdown. How will it end? This is kind of what we were going for until we kind of switched gears and talked about the sneak preview. But yeah, I think that will be a lot of people are talking about, as we get more and more of this stuff, what is that narrative? When is this happening with Rand and Swan? Is this early? Is it late? What have we seen, and how is this season going to shape up? But yeah, thank you both for being here. I didn't think last night we were gonna get the manner in which we got it obviously was crazy. But you know how close I was to actually going live? I actually tweeted out at like, I don't know, like midnight. And
I was
came
ready
down.
just in case you asked.
I came here, I sat down, and I'm like, there's no way I can do this for like half an hour or an hour. This is like at least a couple hours. And it was like 12:30, and I'm like, it's probably gonna be like 1 a.m. before I start, and it's gonna be, no, that's I like it was this close to going live and on the phone with Matt, and we're like, yeah, but I'm glad we got to do this. So thank you both for being here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's pick a winner and let everyone get back to whatever they were doing. So I'm going to close entries. I see a lot of you have entered. And let's see who's our winner. Karen Sue Fab, congratulations! You have won a Dusty Wheel mug. Reach out to me on Discord, Twitter, social media. At the Dusty Wheel Discord server or the chat, the account on Twitter, and I am running behind to all the people who have won in the last, I don't know, since WotCon, I feel like, or even maybe before, just with everything that's happened. There was a trailer at WotCon, and so I've been behind. But in the next couple weeks or so, I'm gonna get back to that and send those out. And I feel like I'm Innkeeper Hatch. Like, oh, I'm behind by 6 months. No, I'm not behind by 6 months. It's like 6 weeks. But I'll go back to it. But yeah, any parting words, both of you? What are we gonna get next week? What do you want to see next week?
I don't know how they're gonna top this. Like
another cold open.
I know. I'm like, what are we, full episode?
I actually don't want to see too much more, to be honest. Now, I think
yes,
just give us snippets. Give us a Lorne Balfe, sound like a
interview.
soundtrack.
Yeah, show me a song. Give me the new El Nito.
Wow. The new El Nito. Wow, that just I did put out a tweet and had my minimal music understanding that I thought it was track number 8. I forget. Norif Al Zafid was the first kind of part to it, and then it kind of had a little bit of element of the Trolloc with the Trollocs kind of charge, and there was maybe a hint of the Moraine soundtrack afterwards, but it sounded new afterwards. And someone can correct me, and I think I did see Alyssa talk about that. So maybe all the music enthusiasts out there can listen to this and be like, yes, this is new Lorne Balfe soundtrack, and hopefully we get that. I did do like this. It is August. Happy August.
I was gonna say
yeah,
that's my answer. Give us Origins, baby.
Yeah. So here's the thing. In their press release, they specifically said season 2. So even if they give us Origins, that's not going to be WoTWednesday. Like it would be odd. I think marketing. I think yes, please give us Origins. I'm not saying don't give us Origins, but like it doesn't need to be it shouldn't be the WoTWednesday.
All right, fine. I'll go with character posters. Then you've twisted my arm. Character posters is my vote for next.
I'm trying to think. Maybe do we want like an episode title kind of leaked script thing? Is that good enough? No.
No,
that's
more
not
than
enough.
that. I need more than that.
More, yeah. I think they should give us that too, but I don't want necessarily
do that for What Monday. Do that for What Monday.
Exactly.
Do it for Monday.
All right. Well, no, thank you everyone for being in chat. Let's wrap up for the night. Thank you both for being here. And as we say around here, good evening from the Dusty Wheel, and smash the black.
Welcome to the Dusty Wheel.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel. You went right to kill it. Look at you. You're all ready. You're just done. I mean, this is like this is
really well. And now I'm like, great, my turn.
And if you don't like that, and you want to say, well, Robert Jordan could have made the 2 rivers all white. He could have, but he didn't. So
Just complimented me on my dress, and as you can clearly see, I'm not white.
I see Nakomi as something along the lines of a Shida Haran analog.
It does make sense why it outlasted the breaking.
Yeah.
See, this is why I have Therese in the show, because she's going to correct everything that.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Dusty Wheel Show. What? Meme Off Challenge. Yay!
like baby face mounted on like a huge body. So like all
This
of
is
a
not
sudden,
just
it's like,
a traditional fantasy, right? There are sci-fi
And
elements.
just a moment
for those that are
ago,
kind of
Rafe tweeted something. So let me get my guest in here with me. And
probably, I would say, put in 70, 80% of the work. I got to be over the shoulder and be like, no,